going into the next topic here. This is going to be a internet oddities segment. Of course, if you guys don't know, it's where in which I discuss random things on the internet that I happen to come across or something. I was honestly kind of iffy to put this as a Godzilla cringe or something like that, but this is mainly more of a internet oddities, if anything. So, yeah, there is a person that is in the Godzilla community that is also in this segment. So, yeah, we have a few to talk. We have a lot to talk about. So, let's get right into this. So, I was sent this anonymously on Discord. This was by someone that wanted me to do a video on this, but obviously I decided to do a live segment on this. But of course I didn't have the time, unfortunately. But at the same time, it's like now I'm doing it. Anyway, so this is not particularly about this particular person, but it all starts from this guy, Professor Kaiju. Now, you guys may know this name. He has 5.2k subscribers currently as of this podcast. And I'm not too familiar of the man. I have heard his name thrown around here and there. And I'm pretty sure he has followed a few people or has been in other live streams with other people. But from what I can read from his description here is, he doesn't really seem too much of a very malicious person. He's not really much of a bad person. He does unboxing kaijus, he does figures and figure reviews, and he talks about anime and all this and that. He talks about that weeb shit. All right. It's all that kind of stuff. Obviously, I have some close friends who have encountered Professor Kaiju, and they'll most likely tell you a different story on the man himself. Once again, I don't know who the fuck Professor Kaiju is. I've heard his name been thrown around before, but I've never spoken to the guy. So for all I know, he could be a good guy, he could be a bad guy. You guys can probably let me know in the live chat. Anyway, so it goes out to Professor Kaiju. Now, what I wanted to discuss, the reason why I bring up Professor Kaiju is because this all started from a comment thread in one of his videos, particularly Ode to Golgilas, which is basically a tribute to Golgilas from the SSS Gridman anime. It's now deleted, however, but the person that sent this to me anonymously was able to save the screenshots. So, yeah, let's read this. So this comes from this guy right here. This was the question he asked. Any reason you retweeted a known Vaush, whom is a known advocate of child predation and CP? Now, at this moment, this is something obviously pretty serious, because obviously you don't fuck with that shit. That shit's disgusting. So this was an alarming little comment here, a little question here. Now, the next at this point, the thread goes into more 5 comments in this thread. The next one, like as you can see right here, I'll just read it all to you guys. This one, next comment here is second this, and then this is when Professor Kaiju starts, answering his questions. He doesn't. Despite that clip that gets passed around, he has expressed hundreds of times that he does not, in fact, advocate for anything remotely close to that. I would not retweet or follow him if he actually believed in that. And then he follows it up by saying this. That clip was pulled out of context from an argument he was trying to make. The way he made the argument was really stupid, but the point was not defending that. He was making a comparison with child labor in other countries and the hypocrisy some have in being against one thing but not the other. And then this is when the guy responds by saying, pulled out of context? He word for word says, now at this point, this is when the commenter quotes Vaush, which is the person that we'll be discussing pretty soon. This is a quote that he said, I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument why possession of child P should be illegal. And then, this is when the commenter continues on saying, there's literally bucket loads of multiple uploads of the same quote and discussion about it and about this, and on a separate occasion says P files shouldn't be held responsible for buying child P. But okay. So, yeah, this is pretty sus. So obviously, here is the tweet. This is something that Professor Kaiju retweeted right here. Obviously, this is don't worry about the rest of this, but all you gotta know is that Professor Kaiju retweeted someone that supports CP and predation. So, yeah, pretty fucked. Honestly. So, obviously, now at this point, we're going to be talking about Vaush. Now, at this point of this podcast, Vaush has already been discussed to death. But at the same time, it's always nice to bring awareness to everybody, to watch out from a particular person. So, yeah. So honestly, it's like I don't care if it's been been talked to death or whatever, if it's like a dead horse or whatever, or it's like if we're beating a dead horse. I don't care. This guy needs to be discussed. This guy needs to be brought up again to bring awareness to everyone else and to everyone who's watching this stream right now. But yeah, Vaush. This is a person that is or he was on Twitch before, but fortunately he did have it banned. He's basically a person that discusses political ideologies of also discusses ideologies of a German that goes by Marx. So yeah, he's a interesting lad. Anyway, so yeah, this is something that was pretty much something that was pretty much brought up. Now, at this point, now that you know a bit about the man, here are the supposed clips that were mentioned here. Now, at this point, I will bring up the clips here. These are, there isn't too much clips out there on it because most of them, I guess, were deleted, but these were edited. But I was able to, clip certain parts to make it so it's not, fully, unedited, but yeah, they're censored, so that's a good thing. So anyway, here are the clips.
Still don't care. I still think that zoophile porn, like drawn stuff, it should be 100% legal. In fact, and this is going to be a real hot take, I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal. Actual child pornography. How should consuming child porn be legal? I think that would be yes.
Okay, so if you were to... So, there's pedophiles, right, who buy child pornography. Mm-hmm. Would you say they should not be held responsible for doing that?
Yes.
Really? Even though they're directly supporting child rape?
Yeah, I think it's hypocritical. Because I bought my computer, and the silicon in it was farmed in Africa by slaves. If I can do that, and that's legal, and no one's going to call me out on my shit, then yeah, I have to be consistent in that respect.
Okay, look, I think there's levels to this. So I wouldn't equate buying a computer to buying child pornography.
There you go. So yeah, there's the those are the clips as of now that are that people discussed about. Now, obviously, it's pretty fucked. It is disgusting. I don't really know what else to really describe it. It's disgusting. There's no other way of putting it. I also forgot to mention that here's the next comment as well that he discussed on Discord. This was what he said. This is from Vaush himself, by the way. So anyway. The way I see it, the age of consent exists out of respect for the numerous power imbalances older people have over younger people. as those imbalances, or at least some of them, are redressed. Though the advent of socialism, the age of consent should therefore be lowered. So, yeah, basically this guy's saying, hey, look, I understand that there's limits on it. If you can, getting down with girls, but hey, let's lower that shit. Why not? So, I mean, at least that's what I got out of the comment. Maybe you guys probably got it differently, or who knows. But yeah, it is pretty disgusting. You know what, man? It's like you see this kind of shit all the time. It's this kind of shit that you try to ignore, but you can't ignore it. So it's always kind of it really does disgust me. It really does, to the core. Just disgust me on like, why the fuck would anyone support this type of shit? It's not good. It's not healthy. It's disgusting. You're mentally damaged if you have this sort of thought process. You really are. It really is nothing to be joking around about, honestly. But yeah, it really is disgusting. Oh my god. But yeah. So honestly, it leads to like honestly, like Vaush himself is honestly a very strange and a very odd person. Just for the fact that he has this sort of thought process in his head of like CP and all that, that is just disgusting. But obviously it all leads up to like, why did Professor Kaiju retweeted him? Is there an explanation for it? This is something that I forgot to mention, but this is another comment that he replied to the person that eventually asked him. He replied to him with this. There is literally multiple clips of him going over what he meant and admitting his arguments, or the example he used at least was extremely stupid. When I first saw that clip a while back, I was going to drop him, but I saw him go over it several times and explain that was not at all what he meant or what he endorses. I've unfollowed for less. I would drop his ass if I felt that he encouraged that in any way, shape, or form. Well. It seems as if Professor Kaiju is defending this, man. That is just great. Wow. Now, this is something that's honestly that is honestly pretty interesting, because this is something that I've seen a lot when it comes to weirdos on the internet, particularly in the furry fandom, when it comes to like them like wanting to fuck their dogs. Yeah, that's a thing. It's really disgusting. That is really disgusting too. But yeah, this is something that they always do, is that they always try to make excuses for what they're doing, and making it so like they sound like the innocent person, or just like that, like you're just misunderstood, which is something that has been discussed countless times in several different videos of people exposing Vaush, and just so much of it's all just of them debunking everything that he tried to explain and everything like that. So yeah, it is pretty bad. This Professor Kaiju ain't looking good right now. But man, honestly, it really is pretty sad. I mean, half of me kind of hopes that Professor Kaiju is just misunderstood, because I don't like, just reading his description on his channel, he doesn't seem like a bad person. But I mean, that's just me. I mean, of course, other people around me may tell you differently, but I personally, he doesn't really seem much of a bad person. I honestly just hope that he's just misunderstood, honestly. But he just kind of like, I'm hoping that he misunderstood like what Vaush is trying to say, or what he's doing around that and all that. And honestly, I really do hope that he sees that what Vaush is doing is actually really fucked up. So yeah, I mean, this overall, this is pretty fucked. I'm telling you, this is pretty fucked.